Joining us today is Jake Barrett, an accomplished historian who's been studying the Great War since 2016. Raised in a military family and educated across the United States, Europe, and the Caribbean, Jake's passion for history stems from his family's involvement in European conflicts. His historical fiction series, starting with Trench 1915, which I've got right here, The Dawn of Modern Warfare, offers a gripping, character-driven perspective on World War One, reflecting his German heritage. Jake, welcome, man. Great to see you. Great to meet you.
Great to meet you.
Your historical fiction is deeply influenced by your German heritage and family involvement in European wars. Can you flesh that out a little bit for us?
Certainly. For both sides of my family, they have fought in many European wars throughout the ages, with the most recent by a century would be my great-great-grandfather fighting in the Franco-Prussian War
Mm.
that would lead to the unification of Germany. And then on the other side, my great-grandfather fighting in the Great War and luckily surviving it at least.
So yeah, I mean, and these are total wars. That's the thing.
Oh
Being,
yeah.
being able to survive that is astonishing. As someone who's been studying the Great War since 2016, how do you think public interest in this period of history has actually evolved? Are there misconceptions or overlooked aspects of the war that you feel still need to be addressed?
Well, there was certainly a growth in interest for this topic over the years, with, say, like films like All Quiet on the Western Front on Netflix, for example. That
Right.
was like a couple years ago.
Yes. Yeah. My son watched. My son's a nerd.
Oh, yeah. I watched the 30s version, the 1970s version.
And this is the third, right? Third version. Yeah.
That's correct, though they're completely different by
Yeah.
literally
Yeah.
literal decades. Now, the misconception is that most people have the wrong misconception that it's mostly trench warfare, and forgetting that it was a global conflict that spanned from parts of Europe, Middle East, Italy,
Right.
and beyond, even to the
Right.
Pacific.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
it's also usually overshadowed by World War II, as it's obvious.
Right. Well, yeah, because our whole world system came out of World War II. But yeah, my 1917, yeah, hugely successful film bringing us
Oh,
back to the Great War.
yep,
Yeah, so
exactly.
it's astonishing stuff. I mean, is it? Am I correct to say is this really the first time? Maybe people often refer to in our in North America as the Civil War as being sort of the first kind of technically modern warfare, but was 1917 more really the that's when modern warfare reared in many ways its ugly head, as it were.
To keep it simple, the Civil War, the American Civil War to be precise, was the first time we used, say, things like explosive shells, for example, a naval blockade, with ironclad battleships, trenches, which is nothing new, but it's still practiced with, and the list goes on to even technical marvels like the Gatling gun, for example.
Right, right, right.
For World War One, when you look at it from either 1915 or 1917, when I call it the dawn of modern warfare, I'm usually referring to the more biggies like dreadnoughts or battleships, planes becoming more than just recon or passenger or airmail,
Right,
machine guns, and so much more that
right.
my book,
Wow.
I try to cover it with so much research that I acquired that normal history books will never even tell you about.
It's amazing stuff. Your background spans education in the United States, Europe, the Caribbean. How has that international experience influenced your understanding of global conflicts like World War One? Do you think this gives you a more nuanced perspective on the causes and consequences of such wars?
In a way, yes. War is such a complex subject in many ways that spans from political, cultural, and so on. And the one thing I learned while traveling abroad with my military family and with dear Papa, who bestowed upon his wisdom upon me, who he learned it from others in his workplace, was the quote from this U.S. Major General Marine, you know, Smedley Butler, that war is a racket.
Mm. War is a racket, an international one at that. Yes.
Yes, sir. And unfortunately, if you see the signs, you see the signs,
Yeah, you
especially
do.
what's going on right now.
Right now as we speak. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
yeah. And you can definitely discern it. I take it. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. Very much so. Jake, thank you for writing this book. I know it's hard. It's a lot of work, but obviously you pumped it out. I mean,
Oh,
there was no stopping you in writing it, and it's you're blessing the world for it. Thank you so much.
yes, sir. A trailblazer I've been called because, well, not many people do it. So I say, why not me?
Why not me? I
And
love it.
with people like you, Joanna, and many others who give me the support, it just, that's what keeps me going, keeps me marching forward. Advance we dare, as there's a reference in my book.
I love it. Trench 1915. Thanks so much, Jake.
Thank you, Dr. Turley. It was great speaking with you.
Honors all mine.